Man, it's been a while since Season 4's been over. I thought I uploaded a video to YouTube, but I guess not. Sorry it took so long. Here we are in 2023. You can also find all my videos on my TikTok. This season's watch order is following the production order. Seems the peeps running the show figured out things with the production by Season 3, so that also follows into Season 4. Reminder, production order is not the way to go in Seasons 1 and 2. This here is that order and the order that we'll be going in through episodes throughout this video. And I'll simply give you the reasons on why it makes sense in this order and not any other order. Say perhaps an order found on a streaming website. As you can see, this is going to be about a 20-minute long video covering about a minute per episode. Alright, I'll let you get right into it! Talking about the watch order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 1, Truth. Gabriel is shown fixing the Peacock Miraculous, which happened at the very end of Season 3. Shadow Moth is first seen here, along with the Peacock Miraculous, since he can now use it safely. Marinette is also surprised when she hears Lucas say Shadow Moth instead of Hawk Moth while he is being akumatized. We learn more about the box as Marinette questions Tiki at the beginning of the episode, as she just got it. Additionally, her new role as Guardian of the Miraculous is highlighted multiple times in the episode, emphasizing the recent role change from the Season 3 finale. This episode is paired with Lies and introduces a lot of shared elements, such as Prince Ali's birthday party, Ladybug and Cat Noir on patrol, and relationship parallels. I'll highlight why other episodes, such as Furious Foo, can't be the first episode. But I'm telling you the truth when I say this is the first episode. Next is Lies. Talking about the watch order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 2, Lies. Truth and Lies are almost like two-part episodes. They're linked. Truth had an emphasis on Marinette, and now Lies follows that up by shifting the focus to Adrien. I just want to say, I personally feel this episode squanders the time it has. I think we spend too much time on Cat Noir sulking and feeling alone instead of other moments of the story. Do you know that the villain Lies has less than 5 minutes of screen time? There are a lot of elements emphasized from the last episode, such as Shadow Moth's new name.
A baddie, a Sentimonster, and Shadow Moth? It's even more exciting with his new name, don't you think?
He can change his name as often as he likes. He'll still never win.
Just remember, this is a companion piece to Truth. Next is Gang of Secrets. Till then, bug out. Talking about the watch order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 3, Gang of Secrets. There is a big event that happens at the end of this episode, but I feel too many just talk about that moment and nothing else in the episode. So, hold on. This follows the events of Truth and Lies. Marinette is obviously going through it, and Cat Noir hints about what he's gone through. There's also Ladybug's whole monologue that basically recaps Truth, which I love. Also, I hope you were paying attention to what the actors in the movie were saying that Ladybug and Cat Noir went to. It's gold. This has to be before any of the members of the Gang of Secrets got any of their lucky charms, which means it has to be early. Alright, this has to be before most other episodes, because Marinette lets Alia in on her secret. Most episodes later acknowledge Alia knowing, so this moment has to be super early. This is a really good episode. Next is Mr. Pigeon 72. Till then, bug out. Talking about the watch order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 4, Mr. Pigeon 72. Pay attention, y'all, because this is actually a big Hinge episode for two reasons. The suit change with Ladybug, and how she can give others charms to protect themselves from being akumatized. Every episode after this includes that suit change and usually a charm given out. Keep that in mind with why some episodes can't be switched around, and why them being aired out of order is so annoying. This episode basically picks up right after Gang of Secrets, with Alia knowing Marinette's secret. This is also a good contrast to Gang of Secrets because of Marinette's depression and optimism. I feel we have two complementing episodes back to back. Kagami kills it in this episode.
I didn't feel anything except shame.
There is another umbrella scene in this episode, and I think it's not only pleasing for the fandom, but I think looking at Adrien's reaction is worth examination and interpretation. Next is Psycho Comedian. Till then, bug out. Talking about the watch order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 5, Psychomedian. While this episode had a lot of production delays and came out much later, it does belong as the 5th episode, according to the production code. No other information would suggest otherwise. This follows Mr. Pigeon 72 really well because in that episode, Marinette is trying to deny her feelings for Adrien, but in the end she accepts them. At the beginning of this episode, Marinette ponders her previous attempts to talk to Adrien and how she can make him fall for her. Also, Rose and Julika are too cute. Bob Roth is an antagonist for the second time in a row, getting quite the screen time this season. Next is Furious Fu. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 6, Furious Fu. Master Fu and his amnesia! This episode has to be here and can't be earlier, such as being the first episode for a variety of reasons. Ladybug has an outfit change when doing her lucky charm. Master Fu gets a charm. Shadow Moth isn't new. So, mainly because of Mr. Pigeon 72, this episode has to be after that one. We'll see that other Guardian pop up again later too, even though he's one of my least favorite characters. I just want to let you know, because it was aired first, does not mean it's the first episode. Brazil decided to do it for some reason, I don't know why, but it's not meant to be the first episode seen. Just remember that, folks. Next is Soul Crusher. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 7, Soul Crusher. Here we go, the introduction to Zoe, who is also seen in Queen Banana. This episode reminds us of Andre's movie career, which is going to come up a few times this season. Honestly, that's all this episode has. It's not that deep because it mainly focuses on Zoe. She appears quite a few times in this season, so it does need to be early. Next is Queen Banana. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 8, Queen Banana. Trigger warning, Thomas is in this episode. Not to state the obvious, but this has to be after Soul Crusher because of Zoe. Y'all know I like Chloe, but her writing in Season 4 is letting me down. I feel like she should have some consequences for the Season 3 finale, some kind of character progression, but no. They just make her a basic mean girl again. Ugh, hate it. This is the first time an Akuma tries to go after a person with a charm. It makes sense to me that Shadow Moth would want a charm of his own. He's gonna get that chance in Gabriel Agrest. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 9, Gabriel Agrest. This is the first time we see Natalie resting in bed this season. The last time was in the New York special. This episode is a shipper's dream. Mark and Nathaniel, Gabriel and Natalie, and of course, Adrian and Marinette. I love seeing more of Gabriel and Natalie. My only critique of this episode is I wish it was longer. I wish we could have spent more time with all the storylines this episode. Too bad this is only a 22-minute show. I feel we really could have dived deeper. Gabriel gets a magical jewel, which sets up a later episode, and he also sets a trap for Felix for later as well. Next is Mega Leech. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 10, Mega Leech. Before we get into the reasons, let me just talk to Disney Plus for a second. One-on-one. Just you and me.
What on God's green earth are you doing?
Really? Mega Leech at the end? After Wishmaker? Are you serious? I'll forgive you this time, but when you update the episodes, you better put everything back in order. Anyway, folks, Mega Leech is supposed to be the 10th episode, and let me tell you why. How Gabriel touches his ring at the end of the episode is the biggest reason. This calls back to the last episode, so it makes sense to see him do it here. Milan gets a Miraculous here, but others are called back as well. We don't see Julika or Rose get Miraculous, and I feel it's because they haven't gotten them yet. Milan becomes Polymouse, but notice the episode never mentions her superhero name. But it is Polymouse. This has a fun callback to the Space Dumpsters.
Some time ago, during our Space Dumpster program, I promised Parisians the end of pollution.
And honestly, Shadow Moth was close to winning in this episode. Next is Guilt Trip. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 11, Guilt Trip. I enjoy the Adrianette moments in this episode. I love that we learn more about Rose and her background. I feel the show needs to do better at developing its characters. Did you notice Lila hanging out in the background? Does anyone else feel like Marinette is handing out too many Miraculous this season? Just me? This has to be before Crocodile, which we'll discuss next. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 12, Crocodile. There are a few reasons this follows Guilt Trip. Firstly, because there seems to be a theme of someone being akumatized and then getting a Miraculous. It happened with Zoe this season. Second, Shadow Moth makes a brief reference to Julika feeling guilt. Even though she already has a magical charm and trying to akumatize her wouldn't work anyway. My friend Buganette mentioned Purple Tigress's power and how she isn't impressed, and I agree. It just seems like a massive punch and not too special. Maybe we'll see more of it in the future. Luca and Marinette patch things up, which means this needs to be before Wishmaker. Next is Optigami, talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 13, Optigami. Finally, a callback to Miracle Queen and looking at the fallout of the information learned in that episode. Honestly, the plan this episode is brilliant. I can't help but root for the villains now and then. I don't know why Chloe is considered a miraculous holder by Gabriel and Natalie, but whatever. This episode sets up Bubbler. They're basically two-part episodes. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 14, Bubbler. My favorite episode of the season. This episode is right after Optigami, with Shadow Moth taking a special interest in Alia. There is so much to unpack in Marinette's nightmare. I love Chloe's criticism of Marinette, because that's what I've been yelling at the screen all of Season 4 as well.
You've been lecturing us about blah, blah, blah. You must keep your identity a secret, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, I can't give you your miraculous.
Cap Long coming back? Brilliant. Honestly, I love how Shadow Moth was willing to unalive everyone by letting them fall to their deaths. I feel showing Cat Noir being jealous is going to be important. We'll look deeper into this in Rocketeer 2. But we'll also see some more dark Cat Noir in Glaciator 2, which is next. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 15, Glaciator 2. Sadly, Andre doesn't ship Marichat. Interesting how Gabriel is able to sense Adrian's feelings here. And at least he sorta tries to connect with him. Kagami is out here trying to flip the love square for us. Cat Noir cataclysming all traces of his love seems an interesting plot point. We haven't seen the finale, so we don't know how it's going to end, but it seems like there's a theme of Cat Noir feeling distant from Ladybug this season. Next up is Haxon. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 16, Haxon. Give me some more Dusu. This is after Bubbler. Alia has her bag and tricks. I enjoy Lady Luck, but Scarabella works too. Another angry Cat Noir. It's a running theme. This is a short video, but it's pretty straightforward here.
Two quick thoughts which I just had while filming. One, Nino knows that Alia's acting kind of weird in this episode, which sets up a little bit for Rocketeer in the next episode. Two, I usually have a reasons why document of why I'm ordering the way the seasons are. There's one for the other 3 seasons up in my bio, and I'm actually gonna put what I have for Season 4 up there right now. It's not complete because not all the seasons out right now, but I'm gonna put what I have up there if you wanna read it, just in case.
Next is Rocketeer. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 17, Rocketeer. This follows Haxon because of the dinosaurs at the beginning. Markov mentions a theory of dinosaurs to the scientist, and the next episode, here they are. I thought this was a dream sequence when I first saw it, but anything goes in a show with magic jewels. I love Alia, but she's getting on my nerves a bit in this episode. No characters beyond some criticism. Finally, Nino blowing bubbles returns. We haven't really seen him do that since Bubbler in Season 1. I find that odd, especially since bubbles don't seem to fit his personality. Better late than never, I guess. Adrian's trust in Ladybug is a bit shattered after learning about Alia and Nino learning each other's identity.
Sorry. Everyone has doubts now and then. Even me.
Is everything okay, Cat Noir?
Next is Wishmaker. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 18, Wishmaker. Luca and Marinette are buds now, which follows Crocodile. I still ship them though. And we also get some Luca Adrian in this episode. Speaking of Luca, he too learned some secret information this episode, which is brought up again in Ephemeral, so this needs to be before that. Wishmaker's outfit creeps me out. Next is Simple Man. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 19, Simple Man. This is the first of a trio of episodes focused on Marinette's family. If I was smart, I would think of a name, but I've just come up with the Dearest Family arc. Something I don't like about Season 4 is Adrian and Marinette's relationship. In the previous episode, they seem to be doing okay around each other, but this episode seems to be back to Season 1 interactions. It just makes ordering the show tiresome when their relationship seems to be going backwards. The first member of Marinette's family to get a charm. Honestly, it's a pretty funny episode. Next is Chi Lin. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 20, Chi Lin. Finally, an episode focusing on Marinette's mother. Sadly, I don't think it's the best written or animated. It seems really unfinished to me. Here's a quick comparison of two hawk moths. Note that Lila is once again in the background in Sabine's art class. This is Chilin's debut, which means it must be before the next episode, Dearest Family. A note about this episode on Disney+. This episode is obviously in the wrong order on the app. Chilin appears 7 episodes after Dearest Family, which makes no sense. Hopefully they'll change this in the future. Speaking of, next is Dearest Family. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 21, Dearest Family. Gabriel has his magical charm, which he got back in Gabriel Grest, the 9th episode. This episode highlights that Marinette's birthday was only a few months ago, which was Bafana in Season 2. And it's explicitly stated she's 14. I just want to highlight this for those still confused about her age. We see both Sabine's and Roland's charms disappear, and Chilin is seen here. For continuity's sake, that means this must follow Simple Man and Chilin. This is the first introduction to a Mega Kuma, which we will see again in Penalty. The ending of this episode with Gabriel speaking to his wife seems to foreshadow the episode Ephemeral. Speaking of, Ephemeral is next. Talking about the Watch Order Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 22, Ephemeral. This is billed as the 100th episode. It said as much in the first minute of the show. Gabriel will do things over 100 times, and he's showing off his 100th collection. Let's do some simple math. For this to be the 100th episode, it would need to be the 22nd of the season, as each season has 26 episodes so far. With this being the 4th season, it would mathematically have to be in that exact spot. 26 plus 26 plus 26 plus 22 equals 100. There are a few little hints that Luca knows who Marinette and Adrien are as superheroes. The most obvious example is when he's talking with Marinette, saying this.
Have you ever thought you knew a person really well, only to find out that they have a secret side to them that you couldn't possibly imagine?
Yes.
And did it completely change your way of seeing them? Like all of a sudden everything feels strange because you don't really know them anymore?
Quite the opposite, actually. Once I got over the shock, it helped me to get to know them better, and like them even more.
This is a reference to the episode Wishmaker. Here's to 100 more episodes! The next is Kuro Neko. Talking about the Watch Order Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 23, Kuro Neko. This episode is the culmination of all the anger Adrien/Cat Noir has been feeling this season for being ignored by Ladybug. There's still a touch of angst left for the finale, but it's mostly resolved here. Personally, I would have loved him to be a bit bitter and villainous, but what can you do? This is a good episode focusing on Plague, much how Deer's family focused on Tiki. Interesting fact, this is the first time we see someone with a senti monster, but they aren't akumatized. Natalie is on the road to recovery, with that leg machine thing of hers. The episode once again has many superheroes, but none of the ones seen in Penalty. And speaking of, next is Penalty. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 24, Penalty. I actually enjoy what they did with Chloe in this episode. I feel like it better follows with her attitude at the end of Season 3. I wish they had made this story move earlier with her, but I'm not the writer. This episode includes a Mega Kuma, so it must be after Dearest Family. There are a lot of Miraculous given out this episode. I personally think that was a poor decision, but at least it does a few things for the finale. All the Miraculous have been used, therefore making us understand them a little bit more. This prepares us for the next season, where we will be revisiting each Kwami and its Miraculous. This way, they won't be totally foreign. Because we know all the Miraculous powers and holders, the loss of them in the next episode packs a greater punch. Finally, we have the introduction of the dog Miraculous, which will become very important in the finale. Lila finally has a line for the first time all season. This sets up for the finale and, hopefully, the next season. We get another episode with Mark and Nathaniel. I'm obsessed with them. Next is the finale. Till then, bug out. Talking about the Watch Order of Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 25 and 26, Risk and Strike Back. This is obviously the finale, but let's note a few things it wraps up. Felix is back and falls for the trap that was set in the Gabriel Agrest episode. I don't know why Shadow Moth uses a Mega Kuma on the kid that becomes Risk, but it's used in this episode. Too bad we don't see him earlier in the season or a charm disappear, because that would have paid off that storyline element as well. Alia using the Fox Miraculous and other aspects of her story this season are wrapped up.
This episode completes her secret mission, addressing telling Nino secrets, and solidifies why Marinette trusted her in the first place. We see Lila and Chloe plotting, which is set up in the last episode, Penalty. We also see a few of the heroes from that episode with their powers expanded upon. This is the end of Ladybug's Guardian arc, or at least her handling of the Kwamis. I'm surprised it only lasted a season, but I think it was overall handled really well. That's all for Season 4. Bug out.
Hello, and welcome to the end of the video! Did that all make sense? Or were you bored? Sorry if you were confused or bored in any way. But now would be a good time to like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. Feel free to watch my other videos about the other season orders of Miraculous floating somewhere around this screen. Better click fast before the video ends. And I will see you for Season 5.